Businesses may be shifting their focus from cost-cutting to revenue growth. Kaspersky exits the North American market by installing new software on computers, and the FTC issues a huge and scathing report on the amount of information big tech companies collect on all of us. These top tech news stories and more on #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. For those of you watching the YouTube version of the show, it's true. It's officially fall when we move from t-shirts back to our men in plaid wardrobe. CGI's latest Voice of Our Clients survey, covering over 1,800 executives, reveals key trends in digital transformation across industries. Founded in Canada in 1976, CGI is among the largest independent IT and business consulting service firms in the world, with 90,000 consultants and professionals across the globe. Their survey has some key findings. First, while companies continue to look for efficiencies, they are shifting focus from cost savings to revenue growth. Second, these companies believe that businesses and IT departments are finally aligning more closely to support shared goals. Third, organizations who have successfully implemented digitization strategies are outpacing their peers in a number of areas, including data management, system modernization, and AI adoption. The survey identifies top trends and priorities. Technology and digital acceleration leads as the top macro trend. Climate change and sustainability is the primary industry trend. Driving revenue growth is now the top business priority. And for IT, the main focus is in managing, modernizing, and streamlining the IT landscape. This final point may reflect the growing realization that technical debt, aging systems are not just a security nightmare, but they are holding back corporate progress and require attention and investment. The impact of the digital transformation efforts of companies has some mixed results. 80% of respondents report high impacts of digitization on their business model. 93% have defined digitization strategies. However, only 34% are achieving expected results from these strategies. Finally, the report looks at the impact of generative AI, again with mixed results. In the AI realm, 79% of those surveyed are exploring generative AI, but only 26% have implemented AI, and some of these projects would be classed as more traditional AI. For more information from this survey, we have a link in our show notes. Kaspersky, the Russian cybersecurity firm, has unexpectedly removed its antivirus software from U.S. customers' computers, replacing it with a software called Ultra AV without any prior notification. This action follows the U.S. government's decision to add Kaspersky to its entity list and ban sales of its software from September 29, 2024. The switch, executed through an automatic software update, caught many users off guard. Some initially feared a malware infection, while others reported difficulties removing the new software. One user described the experiences, "I woke up and saw this new antivirus system on my desktop and Kaspersky was gone. I was concerned that my desktop somehow had a virus." Ultra AV, the replacement software, is owned by Pango Group, which controls multiple VPN brands. Little is known about Ultra AV's capabilities or track record in the cybersecurity market. Kaspersky maintains that this move ensures continued protection for U.S. customers. A company employee explained this update ensured that users would not experience a gap in protection upon Kaspersky's exit from the market. Now, if this move was to have been a sign that Kaspersky cared about its customers and wanted them protected, it seems to have failed and left them with a rather clumsy exit from the market. If it was a purchase of Kaspersky's business, which frankly seems more likely, it apparently didn't leave a great first impression. We have no idea who they are or what capabilities Ultra AV has, and we presume that the same holds true for most of those who got the automatic update and the new software. But it is baffling that they would think that this most trusted relationship could be handled this way. A new FTC report called A Look Behind the Screens reveals what it calls simply staggering surveillance practices by major tech companies. The study examined 9 leading social media and video streaming services: Amazon's Twitch, Meta's Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, Discord, Reddit, and finally WhatsApp. According to the report, these companies collect extensive personal data, far more than most people think possible. It includes browsing history and location, but even goes so far as to collect religious beliefs. Their collection is often hidden, with many using hidden pixels to track users across other websites. Some firms, surprisingly, could not identify all the collected data points or third-party data sharing they did. Algorithms and AI are widely applied to user information with little oversight. The FTC strongly criticized these practices, stating, "Predicting, shaping, and monetizing human behavior through commercial surveillance is extremely profitable." The report highlights inadequate protections for children and teens, noting that many aren't covered by existing regulations. FTC Chair Lina Khan emphasizes the urgency of action, saying, "Our privacy cannot be the price we pay to accomplish ordinary basic daily activities." IT professionals should prepare for new U.S. legislation on data transparency and youth protection, as the FTC concludes self-regulation is insufficient. And another story related to user privacy made it to our attention. To set the context on this, last week, Pavel Durov, CEO of Telegram, announced that he would now be providing information about users of the system to law enforcement. Telegram has previously been the poster child for refusing to give up information about its users. And we've covered other stories about how frequently the major tech providers will actually provide information. On average, almost 3/4 of all requests from government are honored. Taking into consideration today's story on the FTC's report on how much information companies hold on us, puts focus on another action in the state of Texas, where the Electronic Frontier Foundation is going to the Texas Supreme Court. I'll point out that it's difficult to question the intent of Texas's legislation. It aims to prevent minors from accessing sexually explicit content, a laudable aim. But the EFF is fighting this legislation, claiming that its execution is flawed and that it isn't just about one state. The ruling could reshape how we access the internet everywhere. Texas's law, HB 1181, requires websites with a third or more sexual material to verify users' ages. Sounds simple, right? Not so fast, says the EFF. Lisa Femia, an EFF attorney, puts it bluntly: this law strips away online anonymity, puts users' privacy at risk, and blocks adults from accessing perfectly legal content. The EFF argues that whether it's showing an ID or using new age estimation tech, these checks create more problems than they solve. They're urging the Supreme Court to strike down the law, saying it violates free speech and doesn't actually protect kids. The EFF maintains that not only does this law force collection of private information, but it can force the companies to retain that information. And besides the obvious risk of security breaches and data being stolen, there's the other issue of how easily governments and other agencies would be able to obtain information about people from the sites they use. It's just another piece of what we know is becoming a huge issue about how our private data is collected and used. Whatever the outcome, it's likely to influence how we approach both age verification and data protection in the near future. And that's our show. There are links to all the reports on our show notes at technewsday.com or .ca. Take your pick. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.